Hello all, Sumati Charudevan back again with the final stage of spoken English, the output stage, the actual speaking part. Hold your breaths as today I will be sharing some real unique techniques which you will not find anywhere else. But, before moving on to these techniques, let me clarify a myth regarding spoken English, which is also an answer to why some people start speaking English sooner than others. Friends, there is never a fixed time or same time for everyone to start speaking in English. I personally do not believe in labels like speak English in 100 days or 90 days or 30 days. It never works like that. Practically, you start speaking English fluently in N days, where N depends on 6 factors. The first is your current English level. The second is the amount of quality time you give to your input stage. Third is practicing at the output stage. That is, practicing the real speaking part, the techniques of which I will share soon further in this video. The fourth is you must have a proper plan, and that plan should be fun for you. You must enjoy doing that. Otherwise, you will start feeling practicing English speaking or the techniques of it as a liability to you. Friends, you need to create an English speaking environment for you using this plan. If you are too busy, it can be twice a week, it can be thrice a week, but you must be regular in practicing and must stick to the plan consistently. You can tie up listening or reading along with your breakfast, lunch or dinner. You can listen to an audio or video on your way to office. Or even if you are doing some spiritual practice daily, try doing that in English. For example, I used to do some parts daily. For my English speaking practice, I found out their translations in English and I started doing those parts in English. Likewise, whatever is your interest or routine, revert to that in English. The fifth one is the method and the quality of that method. The conventional methods of learning English spend a lot of time in making us understand the grammar rules and the fundamentals of that language. Friends, I believe we are not doing any thesis about the language. We rather need to live that language. We need to speak that language. The right method would be what makes you speak that language fluently. Grammar falls into place on its own. At the most, I just recommend tenses, prepositions, conjunctions, and sentence formation. That too, just to satisfy a querying brain. The last factor on which your spoken English tenure will depend is your interest level. Friends, एक होता है interest, एक होता है प्यार, और एक होती है दीवानगी. दीवानगी होनी चाहिए इंग्लिश बोलने की. If you are really serious about spoken English and learning to speak English fast, इसे अपनी जिंदगी बना लो. Immerse yourself in English day in and day out. इसे अपनी गर्लफ्रेंड बना लो. And gals, इसे अपना बॉयफ्रेंड बना लो. Don't worry, your current ones won't have any problem. Rather, they will be all the more impressed. So these were the 6 factors on which your final tenure of spoken English will depend. Now, coming on to the output stage, that is the speaking part. Friends, when I say English as output, our aim is to become a fluent English speaker. That is, correct English and words coming out smoothly. That's the first stage we should try to achieve. Friends, let me assure you one thing here. If you are working consistently on your input stages, rest assured that output will come. Butter is there in milk. You just need to churn now. अब surface level पे काम करना है. आदत डालनी है माउथ को इंग्लिश बोलने की. ब्रेन को एक सांस की तरह समझो. अगर माउथ को आदत हो गई इंग्लिश बोलने की, तो ये सांस चुप करके बैठती है, इनपुट को सीधा आउटपुट में भेजती है. Let us unwind the final jackpot now. The unique speaking techniques which always work. I'll give you 5 techniques and 2 tips. The first one is listen to the topic of your own interest or a story from someone who has the right pronunciation of words or an audiobook so that you know the right pronunciation of the words used in it. Listen to it twice. After that, read it out the same story or the content loudly and record yourself. Repeat this step unless your recording and the actual right pronunciation is somewhat matching. Daily you try to reduce this difference between the actual right pronunciation and your read out story. The second technique is, I call it support pedal technique. Recall how you all learned cycling when you were small. There were some cycle support wheels and we started to learn cycling using those support wheels. At least for me, one day what happened was somebody removed the support wheels and I was in such a hurry that I didn't notice that the support wheels are not there. And I started cycling thinking that the support wheels are still there. We have to do the same thing. Listen or read a story 2-3 times to understand that story so that it sits in your brain as a situation. Now, immediately start narrating it to someone or to your own self in your own words. The vocab you just read 2-3 times will act as your support wheels. Gradually, practicing this technique, you will not get to know when you will start narrating stories on your own using your own words. You will not get to know when you removed your support wheels. The third is shadowing or imitation technique. I'll tell you a personal story here. Last year we went to US for a summer vacation and there people have different accent while speaking English. By the end of our summer vacation, I copied their accent and started speaking exactly in the same way as they used to speak. Friends, imitation is a very fast technique to catch anything from anyone. Everybody can do it with practice. You can hear your favorite speaker one line at a time and then try to repeat it in the same way as they said. Enjoy it as an imitation game and you will gradually find your accent, your pronunciation, everything improving and you imbibing the same accent, same style of your favorite speaker. The fourth one is image practice. Look at an image, note down its key points and then start talking about the image for around 1 or 1.5 minutes. You don't have to stop in between. You can also do another thing. You can narrate your whole day to yourself or to someone who can correct you daily in the night. You can talk your heart out to your image of God and tell how you felt the whole day. Wherever you get stuck, take help of Google Translate. This is what I used to do when I had no one to practice English with. Coming on to the fifth and the fastest way to speak English. I call it the Tatkal way. Irrespective of your current levels, just jump into conversation with native speakers or with ones whom you think have very good spoken English skills. Preferably, try if they are the ones who are ready to guide and correct you. These days, there are also so many apps available which connect you to native English speakers or to speakers who are fluent in English. If you recall, this is the very way we'll all learn to speak our native languages. So these were the 5 speaking techniques which will help you give speaking practice to your mouths and finally become fluent. Coming on to the 2 tips which I promised towards the end. The first is, friends, if you have time constraints, I would recommend narrow down your output domains. By domains, I mean different set of vocabulary for different English speaking areas. Professional English has some particular category of words as its vocabulary. The English we speak at home is different. Conversational English has different set of words. If you have noticed, the spiritual vocabulary is totally different. Whichever is your first priority, try inputting that content to your brains first. My last tip for everyone including those who have attained comfortable levels in English language, is that you need to be in touch always. Have you heard of Newton's first law of motion? An object at rest continues to be in rest, and an object in motion continues to be in motion. English also follows inertia of English. A person speaking English continues to speak English unless compelled to change the language mode to some other language. If you take long breaks in between, you might have to start all over again. If ever you have to take a break where you're not able to practice your speaking, you must make sure that your brain is getting input of English daily. In the end, I would like to wrap up by saying good luck to all of you for your spoken English journeys. Input is like earning and speaking is like spending. So you need to continuously earn to spend. Have patience in this process. Building a skill takes time, and believe me, when you will be able to express yourself in a new language, the sense of achievement you will get is remarkable. So friends, take care till I come up with my next video. Signing off, Sumati Charudevan.